In Israel, there's a Hebrew word called hasfarah. It means to explain. And it's really, how does Israel tell her story to the world against a backdrop of anti-Semitism and propaganda in media that is just, it's 100x times more than what Israel could ever put out. And so Israel needs a friend. Israel wants the church in America to know that we're still here, we're still hurting, and we need the American church to stand with the Jewish people. Shalom, Chaverim. Welcome. This is the Jewish Road Podcast. My name is Matt Davis.
Hey, and I'm Ron Davis, and we are back.
We're back only for one episode here. We wanted to be able to say shalom and hello and goodbye to 2025. This is the wrap-up episode here.
Yeah. 2025 was a good year in some ways, and in some ways, it was not such a good year.
That's right. But we made it through again. And so we want to just tell you, we got three things. And so here's thing number one. We are now on the other side of Hanukkah. Yes. We're even on the other side of Christmas.
Yes.
The holidays. And we are at that point right before New Year's. But let's just take a minute and review, because I think this year for Hanukkah, we get to tell a great version of the Hanukkah story. Yeah. And the Hanukkah story always involves the menorah, but the dreidels.
The dreidel. Yeah. And the dreidel, actually, everybody thinks of it as a kid's game, but it's really telling the story of what happened historically. Yeah. And it's all written out in Scripture historically in the book of Daniel as to what was going to take place. And then it took place.
It took place. In fact, the dreidel, we wanted to redeem the dreidel this year. And really, as the Jewish people were forced out, or they were in places where they could not be Jewish, where they could not read from their Torah scrolls, where they could not really do all the things that make us Jewish, right? They would have these little toy tops, really started in Greece and Rome, but over time they put these Hebrew letters on it. And the Hebrew letters are an acronym, but this is Nes Gadol Hayasham, Nun Gimel Hey Shin, and it means something, Nes Gadol Hayasham.
Yeah, it means a great miracle happened over there.
A great miracle happened there. So this is actually what we'd say is an American dreidel. This is the dreidel that I played with my whole time. And we'd spin the dreidel, we'd play the game. It's essentially, it's Jewish gambling, right? But over time, I learned that there is more than just our American dreidel, right? Yeah. There's another dreidel.
There's another one. And this one is Nes Gadol Hayapo.
And what does that mean?
And that means a great miracle happened here. Well, what's here?
Well, here, that's the Israeli dreidel. That's the dreidel that they play with in Israel.
Right. And so as they're recounting the story, they're not recounting it the same way as we recount it. A great miracle happened over there because we're over here, but they're over there, which is here.
I think that clears it all up. I think you made that absolutely clear. Here, there, and everywhere. But that's the story, right? So we have friends who live actually in the town in Israel, Modin, which is just north of Jerusalem, but it's they live in the place where the Hanukkah story took place. That's the story. They say, when the kids ask a question, they're like, well, what's the great miracle and what happened? And so they get to say it. But I think here's the cool part. We don't add to Scripture, but we do add to the Hanukkah story. And we created this year something we've never done before, and it's a third dreidel. And it really, we have most of the same letters, but it is Nes Gadol Yehi Yeshuv, and it means a great miracle will happen again. Yeah. Because this Hanukkah story is not just a story in the past. This is the story of the Jewish people.
And it's not over. And we were talking just the other day about how Daniel in, I think it was Zechariah, chapter 8, right around there. He's talking about Alexander, and then he is talking about another, what we have on the dreidel there, another thing that is going to happen. It's going to happen again. And he's talking about something that's beyond the victory of the Maccabees, but something that's going to take place that's going to be messianic in the end times, that a great miracle is going to happen again, and it concerns the Messiah, the King.
Yeah. And this is the story of our people, right? Like all throughout history, there's always been a group of people, I would say satanically inspired to wipe out the Jewish people so there would be no more. But God always sends a deliverer. There is always a helper. There's always a hero who comes to save the day. And that great miracle will happen again. And it'll happen actually not here, but there.
That's
and
right.
that
you couldn't fit it all on the dreidel.
That was a big dreidel. But that story has been incredible for us to be able to tell, and I think it really connected with a lot of the audience. Now, you didn't get to make it to all of them because you were a little bit down for the count, and so we've told a lot of you parts of what's been going on. You had your cancer come back. You got your treatment out there in Arizona at the Mayo Clinic, and you took it like a champ. You did a good job. And then we met in California for a Hanukkah gathering. But actually, even before that, we had a Zoom call with our crew that's going to Israel in March.
That's right.
You made it through. I didn't sense anything going on, but right when we said goodbye to everybody, how are you doing?
Oh man, that was like the last thing that we did before I crashed again.
Yeah.
And I just I didn't feel well. We were in California at the time, and
you were shivering.
Yeah,
in California. I mean, you're shivering here all the time.
Yeah,
but over there, it was not.
Well,
not the case.
It's like 21 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Feels like 7.
Yeah. But you were not doing good. And really, we were supposed to speak at a church the following morning on Sunday morning.
Didn't make it. I couldn't make it.
And for you to not make something, and you said it's not FOMO, it's
SOMO.
SOMO. What does SOMO mean?
Yeah. Sad of missing out.
Sad of missing out. You cannot help yourself. You have to be part of absolutely, even if Kay and I are hanging out here in the house and we're talking about something, your sixth sense, your SOMO sense, that's what I'm going to call it. The SOMO sense is like something's happening and I'm not there. And then you immediately rush to the scene. The fact that you didn't go to the church and speak there that morning was telling. But you tried to put enough in the reserves to make it that night.
Yeah, made it that night, and I didn't even make it then. I made it there, but I couldn't pull my thoughts together.
Yeah.
And our friend Greg Katz, who's a
Dr. Greg Katz.
Dr. Greg Katz. He was my doctor when we lived in California, and he looked at me and he said, "You don't look well."
Yeah.
And I said, "I don't feel well."
Why don't you believe me when I say that to you?
Yeah. Well, you're not a doctor.
Yeah. I mean, while I was finishing up the Hanukkah conversation, you were sleeping on our friend's bed out there in Irvine, California. And that
was terrible.
It was terrible. And so we got you back to Arizona, found out that you had double pneumonia, rhinovirus, and a UTI.
Yeah.
You like the trifecta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's UTI?
UTI?
Yeah, okay. It's not the explosives in the ground.
No. That's something else. I don't see. He's not fully healed yet, but we'll get that on the other side of eternity.
Yeah.
But it was touch and go a little bit. In fact, the doctor told you something. He said you're getting close to the end there.
He said that?
You told me that he said that.
Oh,
yeah. You weren't doing well. You don't remember? All right, that's fine.
I don't remember.
We remember, and for a couple of days, you were not looking good. You were having trouble breathing. All of that to say. You're doing well. You came out of it.
Yeah.
You're back in, what do they call it? Kentucky, my old Kentucky home.
Yeah. Back here in the frozen tundra.
Yeah.
Back in the basement down here, and nice and warm in here.
How are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I think I'm getting better. I got to keep up on my breathing treatments.
Yeah.
I tend to forget.
Yeah.
But I'm doing okay. I feel good every day. I feel a little better. And, I'm ready to jump back in the saddle, and get going. Yeah. And so, I'm okay. Thanks to everyone and their prayers. And, you're constantly sending, emails that I've been reading. There's so many I can't can't answer them. There's so many of them, but I appreciate all the prayers and the thoughts. And so I think that the Lord pulled me out of that last, what they said is the last thing. I didn't feel it was the last thing. But anyway, that I was back in the hospital at Mayo Clinic for a couple of days.
Yep.
And yeah.
Well, you're fulfilling your promise. You said, I'm going to live long enough to be a burden to you.
Yeah. Has it happened yet?
The prophecy is still intact there. So congratulations. So that was then. Let's look towards the year ahead here. We can't make plans or predictions or promises about anything because there's so much going on right now, and it's full of opportunity and things that none of us ever expected.
Yeah. Well, something popped up just a couple of weeks ago. Was about 3 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
That you never expected, that I never expected, but by way of so many of the people that we interact with and many of the contacts, something occurred that just came out of the blue that is like an opportunity, like no other opportunity.
Yeah. And we can't share all of the details just yet, but what we can tell you is that we will be working with the government of Israel through the Israeli consulate, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Tourism. And with that, the Lord, when we were in Israel this summer, we were there for 17 days, meeting friends, ministries, all of that stuff. I came away with, and I'm not a very much like I heard from the Lord type of a person, but I heard from the Lord, and I remember coming back, and I just said, I feel like what we're supposed to be doing is tell the story of Israel and help Israel tell her story.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure what to do with that. I actually put it. There is a page on our website that has that on there that I really never pushed publish and sent that out there, but it's been sitting there ever since. Mm-hmm. And we've been telling the story of Israel. Wasn't exactly sure what helping Israel tell her story was going to be all about.
Yeah. But now there are those that are in Israel that have turned to us and are asking for help in telling the story.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable.
In Israel, there's a Hebrew word called hasfarah. It means to explain. And it's really, how does Israel tell her story to the world against a backdrop of anti-Semitism and propaganda in media that is just, it's 100x times more than what Israel could ever put out. And so Israel needs a friend. Israel wants the church in America to know that we're still here, we're still hurting, and we need the American church to stand with the Jewish people. And so myself and the boys are going out to Israel next week. And if you saw my office, there's massive Post-it notes all over the place. But we're going to be going to some teaching locations, creating some teaching videos, interviewing people to be able to hear their voices and bring their voices back to the States. And really, it's there are so many different moving parts to this thing, but we are incredibly excited to be able to do that. We're going to be doing some consulting on the theological front on how do we help Israel to help this message make sense to the church.
Yeah. And that is the whole thing we've been doing probably the last half of this year is in our podcast, putting that information out there, because there's been a lot of misrepresentation, unfortunately, that is coming out of the church itself. And so we have been working to dispel that delusion. And now it has come to a different pinnacle to where we get to move into the situation in the land of Israel with videography and stories and teachings on particular locations that are just going to be, I don't even know how to call it. It would be, a great thing for Israel to know that there is the church here that is aware and supportive and loves the people and
standing with them.
Yeah, and stands with them.
So there'll be certainly more announcements of things as we get to start rolling them out there, but you're going to see a small group study that's going to be 150 pages and working on all of the content with that and movies and all that kind of fun stuff. But it's not just that. There's lots of other stuff there's invitations to be part of some different conventions and some congresses and some speaking pieces. We're going to Israel a couple times this year. And so there's so much. And I think maybe, of all the things we're bringing our family, you and Kay and Marilee and I and our kids, which is incredibly significant for us, with some really, really great people to be able to walk through the land and say, here's the land of your fathers, and soak it in and soak it up. And so,
and here's the storyline of God throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. And that storyline has not been broken, despite what the enemy would say and despite what people who've been misled would say with all of that.
Yeah.
So who would have thought a couple yonkels like us would yonkel? What's a yonkel?
Yonkel? Yonkel is kind of a goofball.
A goofball.
Yeah, it's Yiddish.
It's Yiddish slang. It's also our little mascot dog around here. His name's Yonkel. Yeah. But who would have thought that sitting around in a basement in Kentucky that we'd be able to have worldwide impact. We're really thankful if you've been listening to the podcast, and many have been listening to the podcast. More than 100,000 downloads just in the last year. There's been a ton of people joining in, and we'll keep going.
Yeah, and we want to keep going. And as you folks out there are helpers in helping us to go, we appreciate your support. And if you want to support the Jewish Road and the things that are taking place and the doors that God is opening before us, you can do that online. How do they do that? You're the computer guru.
It's not. You don't even have to be a computer guru to do it. Even somebody like you. Yeah. With your technical know-how and skill set, you can make a donation.
Yeah.
In fact, we do. We support our own ministry and lots of other ministries. But go to thejewishroad.com and there's a button there that says give. And when you do that, you're giving life. And when you also give, you're not just part of joining in with the covenant people of God, but you are something else that we call you. We call you. You have a name. Yeah. We don't call you bad names. We call you good names.
Yeah, and who you are, you represent the few.
The few. Who are the few?
The few are those who know and understand, and many of them have been following us for several years now. And it's the matter of putting together the Jewishness of this and the faith that we have in the Messiah and the gospel, and putting all those together and understanding the Jewish connection between all of that and how God is there keeping his promises with Israel, with the Jewish people. And we're coming into a time in the end of human history where he's going to fulfill all of these things.
He is faithful. And so if you are somebody who embraces both parts of the story, the whole story, what we'd say Old Testament, New Testament, or what we call it is Act 1 and Act 2. So if you embrace the full story, if you stand with the Jewish people and the nation of Israel, and if you can sow into the Jewish Road, into our ministry, we call you the few. We say, welcome in, and you're part of that. And we believe that, God will give us the plans, and God will give us the resources to do whatever he wants us to do. And beyond that, it's all up to him. We are simply in a boat without a rudder. We're going to need his wind and his direction to push us wherever we're supposed to go. And so that there's no compulsion there. This thing just happens. There's a lot of moving parts that happen without us behind the scenes that get the messages out. And so that's an invitation, but we just ask you, as we're coming to year end and you're trying to think through, well, where do we want to give and how do we want to sow? That's the offer for you. So thank you. Thanks for following along. And there's more good stuff coming up. We'll be gathering more footage and some more conversations from the land of Israel, from right here in Kentucky. and to the ends of the earth. So thank you for listening. And, at this point, there's a lot of talk of peace in the Middle East. We're not there yet.
Oh, it's a whole other subject.
That's a whole other subject, and I think we have a whole lot more to say about it. But until then, we always say, Sha'alu, Shalom, Yerushalayim.
Yeah. Speaking of peace, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Thanks for listening. Shalom.
Shalom.